paragraph, and then let's have a discussion of it, and I'll put a few notes in there, and then I will deliver that back to you by email later, okay?
Are you starting with now therefore for $10?
No.
Okay. Are you
I'm going to go on down. The first section of it, let's go to paragraph 1, amendment of restrictive covenants and restatement of the same as amended.
what page are you on?
9.
I'm on 9 too, but okay.
Bottom.
Whoa. Amendment of restrictive covenants and restatements?
Yes.
This is Cheryl's.
Well, could we actually look at the paragraph above it, because that's where it talks about $10, and
Okay.
we decided that at the July picnic that the vote was done quickly, and that we really wanted to take a walk back a few steps from that, and then do it this way. Am I remembering our decision?
We were going to have a vote on it. We had to contact all the members.
What are you talking about?
At the July picnic,
This doesn't have anything to do with the dues.
right above the paragraph you're talking about, it says now therefore for $10 and other good and valuable considerations.
That's after the list of the homeowners.
After the list of the homeowners, the paragraph right above that's the $10.
Yeah, so
So could we start with changing that?
why?
Because there has been
That's not the
Dues.
what's the word? Excuse me. That's not the assessment. This is deed restrictions. It's not the assessments.
oh, I thought this. So we've got $10 in 2 different ways.
This $10 has to do.
They each pay $10
This has to
get
do
it?
with this transaction. It doesn't have to do.
Okay, all
The
right.
assessments are in the bylaws.
Okay.
This
Sorry.
is. Okay.
Yeah, that I'm reading it says to amend and modify the above referred to recorded restrictions. So did everyone chip in $10? Is that? I don't know.
I
It doesn't
don't
even
know.
matter.
It's
Okay.
simply
I think it was
amount
just
of
the
money that has to do with
theoretical-
the transaction to create this document.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not
In
the
theory.
assessments.
Got
The
it.
assessments are in the bylaws, and that's.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
It just happens it's the same number.
No, same number. I just saw that and thought here we were. Okay.
No. Okay. Paragraph 1, amendment of restrictive covenants and restatement of the same as amended. The restrictive covenants governing the subdivision, including all 3 units thereof and all tracts presently existing therein, are the following in any previously adopted or recorded restrictive covenants, including the recorded restrictions, are amended to read as the following. To the extent that the following varies from the recorded restrictions, and the recorded restrictions are superseded, and the following shall govern and control. For the purpose of creating, basically what this first paragraph is, I'm going to simply summarize it, is it lays out that this is the document that's going to be used for the modified deed restrictions. I mean, the particulars of how it defines bylaws, it defines board of directors. From me, this is kind of a general validating statement, and I want the lawyer to make it generally valid with these things. So I don't think our concerns here are more about the particulars of what's going to be allowed and not allowed,
The restriction.
which begin with paragraph 2. So paragraph 1, I don't see as being something that I'm going to worry about.
Okay. So leave as is, paragraph 1.
Well, I mean, we not necessarily leave as is, but it should be revised as legally necessary, however, to accomplish the same thing.
Do you want to put this, because I'm thinking about how we're going to send this to an attorney, would having a text box where this is on one side and what we want done with exactly that paragraph, like copy and pasting that paragraph, and then in the box next to it is what do we want done?
Actually, I'm just going to
How do you
go
wanna do
through and put in red font
Okay.
our notes.
Okay. So what we're ultimately asking is maybe a change in language if necessary, but not purpose or intent.
I'm saying the above paragraph should validate appropriately this document appropriately.
Okay.
You know, I think our instructions to the attorney should basically be tell us what we should know about. If we're missing something, tell us what we should be looking at. Okay. Paragraph number 2. None of the tracks or improvements erected thereon, except as permitted by paragraph 17. And 17 is the one that specifies, let's go down, there's going to be a number of references to paragraph 17. Let me just read it so we can have that in mind, okay?
I thought the next paragraph is for the purpose of creating and carrying out a uniform plan, or that's all of what you're lumping together.
I'm talking about article number 2, yeah.
Okay, you're down to...
The next paragraph is, there are multiple
Yeah,
paragraphs
okay, page
under
11,
article
gotcha.
1
Right, okay.
that are basically, I mean, for example, for the purposes of the one that Jane, this is still article 1.
I totally see where you are. I didn't realize we were grabbing so much in one...
This goes to the spirit of it.
Right.
Said, for the purposes of creating and carrying out a uniform plan for the sale and improvement of property in the subdivision as a restricted subdivision, and to provide for the use, maintenance, and improvement of the reserved areas in the subdivision according to the plats of the subdivision in a manner consistent with perpetuating the natural environment of such areas and preserving and propagating the wildlife thereon for the social and recreational benefit of the owners of the property in the subdivision. The following restrictions upon the use of the property are hereby established and adopted and shall be made a part of the appropriate reference to this instrument of each and every contract, deed, and lease heretofore and hereafter executed by the developers or any of the purchasers covering the numbered or lettered tracts as shown on the plats of the subdivision and each and every part thereof, yada yada. What it's saying here is for the general quality of life here, to keep the natural environment and so on, and we want to keep that tone, right?
Yep.
Okay. I think I would like to simply go down to the particulars where it starts saying what will be allowed and not allowed,
Yeah.
which begins with article number 2.
Right. So all points down to article number 2, we're asking the language be improved and if necessary, but we're not looking to change the content or intent of any of that language.
Right.
Okay.
We'd like for the new language to be legally appropriate, but that the intent of it should remain the same.
Can you put that in your note? Because it's the kind of thing 3 weeks later I could forget, oh my gosh, was there something we were going to change here, and I don't really know that I have this exactly correct.
I'll read it to you in my notes.
Sure. Thank you.
The above paragraph should maintain the spirit and intent of the original language and validate this document appropriately. Now, here's the process I was talking about, I think, with Pat earlier, and let's see what you think about this. And Jane, if I'm stepping in here because you...
No, all I was doing was trying to get the next little piece moving, and after that, I have no ownership of anything here.
I suggest that we provide our notes to the lawyer today, that we circulate those notes to the members of the board, and then provide those notes to the lawyer. Now, Diane, I'd like for Diane to see them. I'd like for the other missing members of the board to see them, and have a chance to feedback in a week or so, but not forever. And then let's provide them to the lawyer and ask the lawyer to do a first draft. That first draft will include everything and will go back to all of us. And we'll have a set period of time to provide comments. And then after we've all provided input, the lawyer will then redraft it. Then we will have an actual physical, and we don't need a meeting for that. Then we will have, after a second draft is done, potentially a final draft. We'll have a meeting to discuss the final draft and to accept it as the final draft if we think we're ready for that. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So, a first draft, comments, then a second draft, hopefully a final draft.
Can the only other thing could you maybe add into that note is that if there's something we're missing part, if there's something here that in that section that or in any sections that he sees and is thinking, well, I really think they ought to change that, or that's not really best practice, then
he's not he better act like a lawyer and not just a legal clerk.
Right.
redrafting things.
But
into
I
the
didn't
plan.
pick this person. I don't know
Yeah.
really anything about. I mean, he'd be phenomenal. I don't know.
And Jane, what I would like for you to do
Mm-hmm.
is I would like for you, I don't have any like here, I would suggest
Mhm.
that you're contacting, work with the
Mhm.
lawyer, I'd rather not, for consistency. And
Sure.
You're being very articulate.
I think he's already kind of wondering why we're hopping around. It was Cheryl, and it was Cheryl and Diane. Now it's me. I mean,
Let's stay with you.
okay.
And I'm very pleased with what you're doing. And I'm sure we all are. If you
I haven't
would,
done much.
if you would,
Mhm.
if you would, provide what you just said in a letter of instruction.
Okay.
That here are our notes and thoughts about the deed restrictions from the board. So, but we would like for you to not only redraft it, but provide us counsel about what we should think and what we should know about this.
Okay.
I mean, are there things missing that we should have in here? You know, basically, we need legal advice, not just legal redrafting.
Got it.
And any lawyer would
Yeah.
do that surely without being asked, but,
I think Goodman understands that. He deals with homeowners associations. He's one of the attorneys in that law firm that specializes in that.
God bless his soul.
So he probably has run into this before.
So shall we go on with paragraph